Asian shares be part of global rally on softer than expected U.S. inflation. Beijing, Hong Kong Asian shares tracked Wall Street better on Thursday after a softer than expected U.S. inflation record encouraged bets of much less competitive rate hikes from the Federal Reserve, even as the dollar remained bruised after its largest plunge in 5 months. U.S. patron expenditures were unchanged in July in comparison with June, once they rose a month-to-month 1.3%. The July result changed into lower than expectancies due to a sharp drop in the price of petrol, inflicting markets to reposition on hopes that inflation changed into peaking. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outdoor Japan rose 1.0% in early Asia trade, pushed by means of a 1.2% soar in resources-heavy Australia, a 1.4% benefit in South Korea and a 1.2% enhance in Hong Kong. Gains in Chinese shares were extra subdued. Blue chips rose 0.5% as new COVID-19 lockdowns in extra Chinese towns, along with the Jap export hub of Yiwu, dented sentiment. Both the S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq futures rose greater than 0.3% on Wednesday. The S&P 500 rose extra than 2% for the duration of the previous session at the same time as the Nasdaq Composite closed 20% above its recent last low in June. Rising real yields, due to the Fed's commitment to fighting inflation, were in huge trouble for valuations in 2022, so any dovishness is visible as high quality by way of the inventory marketplace, especially for the highest valued groups, said Oliver Blackburn, multi-asset portfolio supervisor at Janus Henderson Investors. However, the doubtlessly more dovish outlook undermined a key assist for the U.S. greenback. U.S. Treasuries, which had pulled back from an earlier plunge in yields as investors reassessed the Fed's price direction, have been no longer trading in early Asia on Thursday because of a holiday in Japan. Slowing U.S. inflation may additionally have opened the door for the Federal Reserve to temper the pace of coming hobby price hikes. Traders now charge in a 50 basis point price hike subsequent month, in comparison with the 75 foundation point growth that had been predicted before the inflation report. For the FOMC, the July inflation report is a nice first step closer to being able to claim victory over inflation. However, at the least one or two extra comparable readings for inflation are essential if they are to have confidence that the inflation emergency has surpassed, mentioned Elliot Clark, senior economist at Westpac. Indeed, policymakers left no doubt they might retain to tighten financial coverage until charge pressures have been absolutely damaged. NL1N2ZM0ZP. During Wednesday's consultation, Chicago Fed President Charles Evans said core inflation became still unacceptably high, and that the Fed might want to preserve to elevate fees. Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank President Neil Kashkari mentioned that even as the inflation analyzing became welcome, the Fed changed into a long way far away from declaring victory, and had to improve prices a great deal better. On Thursday, the greenback turned into little changed in opposition to its predominant friends after plunging 1% within the previous consultation, the maximum in 5 months. Commodity currencies rallied on advanced threat urge for food from hopes of a soft touchdown. Oil expenditures fell in early Asian exchange as buyers shifted interest back to extra supply of crude getting into the marketplace coupled with weaker call for. Brent crude futures fell 0.4% to $97.05 a barrel, even as U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell by a similar margin to $91.58. Gold changed into barely lower. Spot gold changed into traded at $1,790 consistent with ounce, pulling far away from a 1-month excessive hit inside the preceding session. GOL.